For just 1 minute, please pay your full attention. Welcome to Super Science University Bhagavad Gita, which only can fulfill any of your wishes, aka the real Santa, plus it is the permanent solution to any of your problems. It answers every possible question. It will give you permanent happiness with your freedom in the end, the highest, most prime, most secret, and the only complete knowledge, which is the source of everything. Please refer to Yatharth Gita by Swami Adgadanand on yatharthgita.com or Spotify, which is the only genuine and complete source of knowledge. Please note, incomplete knowledge is dangerous. First of all, you need to know the definition of rebirth. Unless and until you don't know what rebirth is, how would you even remember your own previous birth? You all need complete knowledge, and then only you will come out of this fool category to remember your previous birth. Because without complete knowledge, everyone is a fool. So even if I claim that I was Osho in my previous birth, you wouldn't understand me. You would be thinking that I would remember as Osho what I used to wear and how I used to sit. What was the name of my parents? How many of my followers were my personal favorites? Where did I go on this particular date and with whom? What did I used to say in my personal sessions? This has no relationship with rebirth. I would use Acharya Prashant's simple method to help you understand. There is a me between material and soul. The soul is the real me, like this. But me keeps on moving like a pendulum between the material, the fake me, and the soul, which is the real me. So, like a pendulum, material, spiritual, fake, real. All the above mentioned questions are related to the material world, which is not your true self. Bhagavad Gita is the only complete knowledge in humanity, so whoever is closer in solving this most difficult idiom, which is the last purpose of every human being, is more close towards winning the game of life. Winning means just playing in the game of life without any target, since after solving the target, which is real Gita, you would become natural. Therefore, you don't need to force anything upon you. Just like when you learn about a new good habit and you consider it as good since you have theoretically observed its benefits, therefore you practice it so that you can adapt to it. And finally, after practicing a lot, you don't have to remember it since it would become natural. As Osho, I read many books in my life that everyone is aware of. Nearly around 0.15 millions of books, and then I preached a lot. For Gita only, I spent 400 hours speaking and 8,000 pages in writing on my website. Still, I was far away from the ultimate truth. When I myself was far away from the ultimate, how could I even help others? So, all those who still consider Osho as their mentor are fools. In this birth, I have listened to all Bhagavad Gita sources, including my own Gita Darshan, and listening is better than reading itself, since this reading is the new invention of this modern world. Before, Guru used to speak and his disciples used to listen, and that's how knowledge was granted. And pay attention, since Gita is complete knowledge which I didn't understood in my previous birth as Osho. I read a lot of books on different topics. But in this birth, after listening to all Gita sources available, I found only Yatharth Gita to be genuine source and therefore complete knowledge. Therefore, I am correcting my own Gita Darshan. So right now, I have surrendered myself completely to yatharthgita.com. Before, I was my own boss in the wrong direction. I had this talent of a spellbound speaker, and everyone was listening to me and following me for the wrong knowledge I had as Osho. Having superpowers and having correct knowledge has no relationship. Usually, people listen to only those who have some supernatural powers or with whom a miracle is associated. That's why I had a collection of 90 plus Rolls Royces to attract the public. But the sarcastic part is that I too was in a dilemma. I was under Rajoguna and I even answered that this is the my last birth and I won't be coming back again. See, the statement itself conveys my ego. Who am I to decide that? Even my security guard claimed that I was very overconfident when I declared that I am the Messiah who has come to save America. Was I able to save America? Rather, I was kicked out of America. For any problems, I would suggest to tell my followers to find a partner in my ashram and have sex. Sex was the only solution to any of the problems my followers faced, and so does my most famous book in its title, Sambhog se Samadhi Tak, is conveying, meaning from sex to the ultimate stage of bliss. In this birth, I am correcting myself and declaring that permanent happiness or bliss is impossible without correct Bhagavad Gita knowledge. It is the highest and complete self knowledge. Krishna consciousness represents the future of every human. Arjuna consciousness represents every human being. Sex is not the only solution to bliss. Sex can give you temporary relief and satisfaction, and you may think that after that you feel emptiness. Even the ISKCON is spreading the wrong Krishna consciousness. Since understanding Krishna is possible only via correct Bhagavad Gita source, ISKCON are concentrated on just Krishna. They don't know Bhagavad Gita is the true definition of Krishna, and that's why they preach Bhagavatam Purana and consider it as the highest knowledge beyond Bhagavad Gita. They don't even know that Purana is a story and it has no relationship with knowledge. I also declared Ashtavakra Gita to be the highest knowledge as Osho. This mistake is done by many Advaitvadis as well. Ashtavakra alone is very dangerous to preach. At least when I was Osho, I preached Ashtavakra Gita after Bhagavad Gita. But Acharya Prashant is preaching everything together and is also telling his students to make notes on Bhagavad Gita sessions and then clear the Gita exam. Even as Osho, I would have considered him as a fool, and now when I have improved, what can I say? He has converted Bhagavad Gita into a science book. My message to all the gurus who are alive in their physical body as Premanandji, Acharya Prashant, Shri Ravi Shankar, Amog Leela Prabhu as ISKCON member, Nityananda, Sadguru, etc. to please go through Yatharth Gita so that they can correct themselves and therefore convey the correct knowledge. Premanandji and Sadguru have not even preached Bhagavad Gita yet, and they are the most famous gurus of this era. Also, please avoid me as Osho. I have spoken a lot on different topics and yet I was far away from the ultimate. But since failures are the pillars of success, I have learned from my mistakes. Since I also preached Bhagavad Gita as Osho, so I was able to grow spiritually. Since association with Bhagavad Gita has only profits, even if one is not able to understand it fully. Sarcastic part is that even if one has no relationship with Gita or Krishna, he is still a part of this divine knowledge without his knowing. So, what kind of ignorant person that would be that doesn't even know that he is part of something and he is not even aware of that? So, guys, I have tried in this video to prove that I was Osho, but you won't be understanding me unless and until you yourself have the clear definition of Bhagavad Gita, which is by only yatharthgita.com. Don't listen to Osho, you will be confused. Just go for Yatharth Gita.